So I'm Matteo Rossi, CTO and one of the co-founders of Algorithmiq, and we'll present some results that we obtained on the VTT Q50 on photochemistry for cancer treatment. So before going into the details of this project, I will just briefly introduce Algorithmiq. So we are a quantum software company, and we're trying to develop software that makes quantum computers useful already today and now. And in particular, we're focusing on one area where we think quantum computers are really the potential to be disruptive, which is healthcare and life sciences. So the quantum chemistry that helps us develop cures to cure and prevent diseases. So we founded Algorithmiq in 2020 in Turku, here in Finland, and since then we have grown to around 40 plus employees, distributed around London, also Europe and US. We have a very expert team with a lot of interdisciplinary skills, because the problems we are trying to tackle are very challenging. And we raised over $20 million in investments. And we've been partnering with many entities and collaborating with universities, hardware partners like IBM, of course, VTT, and also end users like Cleveland Clinic. And when we talk about quantum software, we mean a stack of different layers. So software for quantum computers needs to, of course, focus on the application side. In our case, for example, our quantum chemistry simulations, and here we have a product that we call Aurora. But then you also need to solve a lot of problems that are kind of lower level in the stack, because quantum computers are still early stage. They still have limited sizes, limited capabilities, and they also are affected by noise, which means that you need to really optimize your algorithms and your kind of underlying infrastructure software to maximize the output. And in this area, we have a platform that we call DQI, which stands for Digital Quantum Interface. So with this in mind, we have been working to find use cases for quantum computers. And one of these use cases that we're really excited about is from a collaboration with Cleveland Clinic, which is one of the largest hospitals in the US, and they have a very large R&D department, and they're interested in photodynamic therapy for cancer treatment. I will explain in a second what it means, but I'm just mentioning that this is we are part of a kind of a grand challenge organized by the Wellcome Foundation to examine the potential of quantum computers in healthcare and life sciences, called Quantum for Bio. And we are one of the few teams that has advanced to phase 2, and we will have hopefully soon go to phase 3, which means we can test on hardware at large scale what we are in developing. The photodynamic therapy. So it's basically a way to treat cancer in a way that is localized and minimizes the side effects of the drug on the body, which is a typical problem, for example, with chemotherapy. So a patient gets a drug, which is called the photosensitizer. The drug is absorbed all over the body, but it's inactive, so it does nothing. So the way to activate this photosensitizer is to shine some light at a specific wavelength, a specific frequency, in the area where the tumor is focused. And this activates a chemical reaction in the drug, in the photosensitizer, which will produce some reactive oxygen, and this will kill the cell in which the drug is. And this way, we can only target specific areas of the body, and this is why this is very, very appealing. Of course, this is very nice, say on paper, but studying and developing these drugs is very difficult, because either you do it in the lab, so you do a lot of experiments, trial and error, and this is, of course, costly and time-consuming, or you try to use computational methods, so computational chemistry. But Yuka just a few minutes ago showed very clearly why this is very difficult. So we need very precise computations to get the drugs right. And with regular computers, we would need extremely large amounts of memory and compute power to obtain that. But quantum computers kind of naturally fit in this computational endeavor because they can be quantum systems. They can represent the state of the molecule very precisely. So the idea is to use a quantum computer to, to prepare this like reference state for our candidate molecule, perform accurate measurements, and then do some post-processing on regular hardware to obtain then the chemical properties of interest. For example, a typical example is you want to know what's the energy difference between the inactive and the active state of your photosensitizer, because that is telling you which frequency of light you need to use to activate it. So this is a very kind of nice program, but then of course, quantum computers these days have still limited capability. And that's why you need to really use all the software tricks and methods that you can find to squeeze all of the performance from the computers that you need. And this is what we tested on VTT Q50, so on the Finnish quantum computer. We checked one piece of this puzzle, which is the possibility to perform very accurate measurements on the quantum computers. So chemists want their quantities to be known with a very high precision. This is typically the order of 1 millihartry, as again Jukka was mentioning, and this I'm showing in this plot, like kind of the gray area is what you, the green area is what you would like to have. So in this plot, lower is better. And what I'm showing here is exactly the precision in estimating this energy difference between these two active and inactive states of the molecule. The raw data that comes from the VTT Q50 is above this precision, and this is perfectly normal because there is readout errors and other sources of noise. But when you put your software like TQI into the picture, we are able to bring this precision down to acceptable, or even much better than the acceptable precision. You see here there are different qubit numbers. This corresponds to different like active spaces for the molecule that we have considered. So the larger qubit numbers, the more accurate description of the molecule you can get. And somehow a nice finding is that with the improvements that we did also on our software, we were able to beat our own results on a IBM quantum computer. IBM is one of the largest manufacturers of quantum computers worldwide. So this was very, very, very exciting for us. And we are like now on the path to go to larger and larger sizes of this active space, reaching 50 qubits, which is a regime that is kind of already very hard to match with regular computers. And we also need to show that we can mitigate all sources of noise besides in the measurement. And an interesting aspect is that this comes with not just quantum computers alone, so we need high performance computing as well in the picture. And this is also where LUMI and the integration with LUMI is going to be very, very important for us. And that's it. I just wanted to mention that really to get quantum computers, state-of-the-art quantum computers, able to tackle relevant use cases in drug design and discovery, you really need advanced software. And this is what we are trying to achieve here at Algorithmiq. Thank you.